It's really just that I've like seeded the audience with my people. Um, hey everyone, I'm Ashley, and in case this is your first time joining us, I just wanted to introduce the group that's also doing this. So this is a collaborative effort between the Stanford L. Warren Library, Duke Gardens, and North Carolina Cooperative Extension here in Durham County. We are so happy to be working together. There's a whole series, I'm sure you've seen it, but please look at some of the other offerings we still have. We have some really great classes coming up on everything from dye plants, so plants you can dye things with, water features. I know, that one's like super cool. Um, Water features, pruning and topiary, all sorts of great topics. We're really excited about our speakers coming up. So take a look. And with that, I am going to pass it over to Kavana.
Thanks, Ashley and Carter. Hi, everyone. I'm Kavana Anderson. I'm the Director of Learning and Community Engagement at Duke Gardens. And today I have the pleasure and privilege of introducing our speaker. We have a gardening celebrity in our midst today. Yeah, we have Teresa or Teri Speight, who's visiting us from Maryland. She's been the head gardener of Fredericksburg, I understand. She's written incredibly beautiful books like this one I'm holding. How beautiful is that? Black Flora is the latest one. And she's co-authored additional books. She is the Urban Garden and Container Gardening Chair of District 1 of the National Gardening Club. So come on, container gardening, this is who we need to be learning from. So thank you so much for being here as participants, and thank you to Teri. I'm gonna pass it over to you to tell us what you know.
Thank you all for having me. Can everyone who's a master gardener raise your hand, because I'm a master gardener too? Yes, yes. Those of you who aren't, join the master gardeners. Trust me, I've been one for 30 plus years. It's addictive, and it's the best way to have a continued learning experience. So we're going to talk about containers today because it's hot outside and everything is going up in price. And that landscape, hopefully you planted the right thing in the right place, and you don't have to spend all summer watering it. And if that fails, if you've got some beautiful containers, at least you have beauty up close and personal. So this is who I am. I had a podcast. I wrote 2 books. I had to stop because there's something called sleep and a full-time job. And I'm getting back to it slowly but surely when I know I'm going to have the time to do it. I'm a speaker all over the place. I'm a freelance writer, and all the other stuff up there. I'm a co-chair of a community garden in District Heights, Maryland. And we believe in MOE, which is M-O-E, multicultural, multifunctional, multi-opportunities for engagement. Multi-generational, so not just for kids, not just for seniors, not just for midlifers with nothing to do. We believe in MOE. And then I have a dog, Precious, who's dear to my heart, and my daughters and grandsons. So I know, can you tell? My daughters are grown. They left me, so I have Precious. So what are the benefits of growing in a container? Number one, once again, you have beauty up close and personal. That is a very, very important thing. So many people are like, oh, go look at my border that's over there. And they're up close and personal. This is a friend of mine, Lucinda. She's in Austin, Texas. She's close to, well, she's very much a senior. She has tons of pots, like over 100 pots. Yeah. Her garden is multi-level, multi-terrace, pots. That's her house. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And when I say play with color, when I bought my house almost 30 years ago, I got rid of turf. My new neighbors were like, uh-oh. We got one of those in the neighborhood. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Now, I've got natives on one side, cut flowers on the other. And because I believe in MOE, I put in a little gazebo last year because the children tend to flock to my house. I don't know why, but I have one neighbor, she wants to read a lot, and it's full sun where she is. So my gazebo has climbing roses, and it'll have all kind of vines this summer. And I put a bench under it because why? I want her to sit there and become one with my garden. That's what you should do. In containers, there's even containers under there. I have containers of things that are fragrant because I want her to go, oh, what's that? Because if you can pique the interest, you can engage the next generation, which is what we need to do. It's a less impact on your body if you're gardening in containers, which means you don't want 99 little pots. You want to have large pots with multiple plantings inside that you're not going to be moving all the time. And if you think you're going to move it, put them on coasters. None of us in this room, even you young people, because it will catch up with you, trust me. Lugging a whole bunch of heavy containers, trust me, you don't want to do that. Just don't even go there. It's also a great way that if you plant something in the spring that needs part sun, and you notice maybe it was a storm and a limb broke, and all of a sudden now you've got full sun where it was part sun. If it's on coasters, you can move that pot. If you have a young teenager, he can move the pot for you, or she can. So, you know, pots have their value, trust me. Basically, what is a container garden? A garden in a pot. That's as basic as it's going to get. Okay? Okay, good. Sorry. Container, plant in a pot.
We're trying to record you. Do you mind turning around and looking off this side?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Well, then I'm going to look at this screen. How's that? Okay. Okay. I want to make sure I hit the right thing. So sorry about that, y'all. What is a container garden? Your plants are in a pot. Bottom line. 2 years ago, I fell in love with potted figs because you don't have to have a fig that's 10 feet tall. You can have one that's 3 feet tall. Phenomenal is a great one, and it actually produced, which is amazing. And I did not grow up eating figs fresh from the garden, but I personally ate all the figs from my phenomenal last year, and it was fun. Optimal pot sizes. This is probably one of the most important things because there's all kind of pots, hanging pots. You can create your own hanging pots, stacking pots, which with the stacking pots, please be careful. They will dry out. They will dry out. Remember that phrase.
What is a stacking pot?
You'll see them online a lot, and they're like have all these little layers, and then you like towers.
Oh, gotcha.
They do dry out. They're so small, and the roots. The most important thing about plants in a container, the roots. The better your roots are, the longer your roots are, they're going to go down. If you have roots on the surface, then this talk is not for you because your roots are going to be right there, and you're going to be out there watering going, but she said, no. You want your roots to go down. In order for them to go down, they've got to have room to go down. So one of the things I abhor is a 10-inch pot. Just don't. They're cute for your houseplants because you're inside at some point all the time. But outside, do not do a 10-inch pot. It's just not worth it. Not even for one basil. Just don't. Do a cluster, at least 3. Then your 5-gallon buckets. I am a bucket goddess. I love buckets. And you can make them cute. Have a child paint them. Then they're cute. And make sure you put the drainage holes in them. That's essential. There's that little basil in a pot. This was a demonstration for people in a senior facility. And even they said after 3 weeks, it's like, how often do we have to water the basils? Like, that was my example to show you all, just don't do the little pot. Just don't. It's not worth it. You're making more work for yourself. And that's not the point of a container garden. Okay. The soil does matter. I use espoma, period. Hard stop. You want it to drain properly. It is organic. You set yourself up for failure if you use some of these products now that have the moisture crystals. No one's that busy. Okay? You're not. Because if you use the soil with the moisture crystals, you have no way to gauge how much you're watering. You think, oh, but it's dry. Well, I put my finger in it, it's dry. And the moisture crystal's holding on to that water until it thinks the plant needs it. Don't. Just don't.
Don't use them.
Don't use them.
Okay.
in a container garden, all you need is potting soil. I don't care what brand you use. All you need is potting soil. If you get the potting soil with the fertilizer in it, once again, every time you water, the fertilizer leaches out. But say you forget to water, and the plant's doing fine. And then you think, oh, let me add some fertilizer to this water because I've ignored it. You've just doubled up on fertilizer, and the plant really doesn't need that much fertilizer. So basic potting soil, doesn't matter what brand you get. Basic potting soil. Do not use garden soil in a pot. Garden soil in a pot is too dense. Once again, setting yourself up for failure. And according to some authorities, you no longer need to add a whole bunch of stuff in the bottom of a pot for it to drain. You do need holes. You need holes. To be honest, in the second book, that book that I co-authored, my partner has a chapter, and she put bottles in the bottom of a planter. That it still is an issue with me. I don't do that.
What about for weight?
For weight, if you want to do half a pot, you can do that. But
Yeah.
you know what? You still don't need the bottles. You know those black plastic pots that you end up tossing because you bought the plant?
Just
Turn it
like
upside down.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a whole bunch of people were putting peanuts in them. Don't do that.
Yep, okay.
Yes.
So if you've got a container with no hole, should we not use them at all, or can you like kind of build them up in a way?
I have like the pretty pots as an exterior. I will put like 2 bricks under it, but I plant in a black plastic pot and put it in there. But at the same time, if it's outdoors and there's water sitting in the bottom of there,
Yeah.
you're creating an issue for yourself. So just think about what you're doing. Yes.
What does Espoma mean? Is that just the brand?
It's just the brand.
Oh, okay.
They just been around. I grew up on Espoma.
Okay.
My dad fertilized everything with Hollytone. Everything.
Yeah.
They have different ones for different things.
But if
Yeah.
you have like plastic or something, you could always drill a hole in it if it's a plastic container, right?
If it's a plastic container, yes, you need drainage holes.
Yeah.
You're gonna need drainage holes, but you don't have to do all the. I mean, in the past it was like, oh, you need all these rocks and you don't need to do all that. No, no, no. Yes,
Do you always put plastic pots in your fancy pots?
I do.
Okay.
But I only have 2 really fancy pots. All the rest of my fancy pots, honestly, it is worth paying the money to get pots that will withstand different temperatures that are beautiful. It is worth paying that money. And then you don't have all this, I need to do a plastic pot, I need to do that. Pay the money. I have blue pots on my front. I waited until they went on clearance, of course, because they're gorgeous, but I don't think about it. I have friends that bought some blue pots and they didn't think about whether they were weather resistant or not, and they regretted it, and that's a lot of money to waste.
Oh, that's why, because of the expansion and all that. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, you have to get outdoor pots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to just think about what you're doing with a container planting or a container pot. If you're going, yes,
Are you going to talk about what kind of like are clay pots good or not, or they dry?
depends on what you're doing.
Okay.
My pots are all season plastic or ceramic,
Okay.
but I do have things that are drought tolerant in clay pots.
Okay.
Okay, because clay will suck the moisture out.
Yeah.
So once again, you got to be careful. It really pays to put some thought into buying a good pot.
It's one of those things about being aware that there are different ones.
There are different ones, yeah. Yeah, and that's my other, I might have bypassed it. You can buy all kind of pots. You can spend a lot of money for pots or not. I'll show you that later. Okay, so in your pots, you should have 3 things: thrillers, fillers, and spillers. Thrillers, they stand up in the middle. You know, we've all heard this before. Fillers, they take up the girth of the pot. And your spillers, having something grow over. This is my secret. I always buy a thriller. And it does not have to always be the Dracaena spike.
Okay. Good.
You can use lemongrass. You can use anything tall. You know, you can use fountain grass. but it does not always have to be Dracaena Speight. So think about that. Your container should be functional. Also, say you want red, low-growing zinnias, but you can't find them in a garden center, but you can find a packet of seeds. Put something else in its place, and then put those seeds around it, knowing that you definitely care about what's in what you bought to put in the pot, but those seeds are going to grow, and then you have exactly what you want. So hold space, save space for those things that you know you want in your pot. And then your spillers. Spillers can be at the beginning of the season, because I know it's warmer down here than DC. Your nasturtiums, they're great, and you can eat them. Any of your herbs that you know drape over a pot, from thyme to a draping rosemary, make an edible pot, put it by your grill. That just makes all the sense in the world, But make sure that your plants are compatible water-wise, and I'll tell you about that in a sec. Planting care, once again, make sure that you're using basic potting soil. You do not need all the fancy potting soil. Make sure that you have drainage holes in your pots. Those are the two most important things. And the last most important thing is to mulch your pots. It's hot. We know this. Mulch your pots. If you plant heavily, I fill my pots up. That foliage is going to be your mulch. When it starts, though, sprinkle a handful of that mulch that you're putting in the yard, because we're not using that red mulch, right?
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you change out the potting soil every season?
I personally take the top third off, amend it with compost. I make my own compost. I'm a very self-sufficient organic gardener. So I make my own compost. I amend what's there. However, at year 3, I take that top third and I put it in my garden. And then I take what's at the bottom, mix it up, fluff it up, add fresh potting soil. But I never just throw it out every year. That's not sustainable. You can amend it. You can amend it with worm castings. You can make your own compost, which I make my own compost. So, yes.
What did you say you were doing with the bottom part?
I just fluff it up.
Oh, fluff it up.
Yeah, fluff it up. Because remember, I don't have peanuts in there.
That's right. With mulch, what about the size? Because I use coconut coir, but the size is like soil, where mulch
Right.
would be.
I use triple shredded Virginia fines, pine bark and mulch. But you can use pine needles.
Yeah. But does the size matter?
It's more important that you give it some type of coverage
Okay.
to keep that moisture in.
Yeah. Okay.
Do not use those big bark chunks.
Right.
Just don't. I have a lot of just don'ts in the garden, and it's all just from things that I've learned over time. That's all. Yes.
You said you also use pine straw?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's great, and a lot of times it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. Free is the free. I'm all about the free. Trust me, and sustainability. Easy plants for edible potted gardens. Now, some of this I couldn't find here. Some of it I could. Now, borage, that's one. You want to seed it, and you want to use those blooms, because otherwise you'll have borage for years to come. Everywhere. But it's really pretty in an ice cube. If you're having a tea, yeah, because borage now is blue, pink, and white. Yeah, it's cucumbery taste. You can eat it in the garden if you just want a little refreshment, and you're not using chemicals. But you can put them in an ice cube and serve them in a glass for yourself or for your guests. It's pretty. The flowers, yeah. It's really pretty. Yeah, nasturtium blooms on a salad. Anyone had those?
Yeah.
Yeah, delicious. And pickle the pods, that's right. And if you take a stem of nasturtium, put it in water, it will root.
Yeah.
It'll root. Nasturtiums, if you just take a stem, put it in water, it'll root. Yeah,
Put everything in water and see what.
yeah, see what happens. Basil, yeah, tons of stuff. I mean, What are you gonna do if it's like hanging over the planter and it's too long? You're gonna pinch it off. Put it in water. Make a new plant.
Create problems for your future self.
Yeah, exactly. Calendula, that's a funny one. Calendula, I thought some did not germinate by seed, so I threw it out of my garden. It's still there. Even through, we had snowcrete this year. We had ice and then it snowed on top of it. It was really bad in the DC area. And even I thought the calendula would not come back. It's bad. And I'm fine with that because you can make tea, you can make salves, you can do whatever with it. And it's pretty, so why not? Violas, we planted violas in the community garden and that was 6 years ago. We still have them. But we, once again, put them in ice cubes, make tea. If people are out there gardening and it's hot, I always have a jug of water and you can, you have your ice cubes because why not? In my world, a lot of things should be pretty. Marigolds, put them on your salads. These are all easy things that you can put in your pots by seed and they will come back. They will come up when you want them to. Midsummer, when the other plants might be petering out, if you put some seeds in that pot when you plant it up in the spring, it's like you got a fresh pot. Don't tell your friends. That's your secret. Okay, edible container considerations. Now, I actually did this for a client. This is also in the book, The Urban Garden. Using those cute little containers, you can get them at the dollar store. Put a drainage hole in the bottom. A nail will do you. It's got to drain though. And then if you're using the basil and you've got basil starts in a small pot, you can flip them out, change them out according to the lighting. Sometimes, once again, lighting will change over the course of the summer. You can change those pots around. You can hang them on different parts of the fence or wall. You can do so many things. Don't always think about pots having to be on the ground. And think of pots as a community. They want neighbors. They want friends. So mix it up. Don't just do, oh, I've got basil here. Oh, I've got a rosemary plant. Do rosemary that drapes. Do another upright rosemary. There's a grilling rosemary that's more flavorful. Mix those things up. Save some for the wintertime when you're doing your meats and use some today.
Won't that size dry out, like you said earlier?
Once again, the right thing. Like if you put lavender in there, lavender does not want a lot of water. Rosemary does not like a lot of water. You got to do your research. Yeah, do your research. Now, I wouldn't put something like basil in there. Maybe on a second tier, but basil can be sensitive, and if it gets too wet, it can get the virus. And people down here, I'm sure, have seen the virus on basil. A little fuzzy. Yeah, makes you want to throw it all out. But you got that cutting from the kitchen. You can replace it. So I pinch and cut a lot. You can have a salsa garden using pots that size. Do tomatoes. Do some basil at the bottom. Do some peppers in one. Make your own salsa. Once again, it's a trio. They all have neighbors. And you can also add just some regular flowers in there. Put some marigolds at the base. Because why not? You can use the marigold for a salad. I always say a garden, if you plant a garden properly, you should be able to eat what's in that garden, but you should also be able to have some blooms on the table after the fact, because that's going to feed your mind and go, wow, I can garden. That's an amazing thing. Salsa gardens are fun because you can mix it up. You can have hot peppers. Yes?
I just had a question about, I'm using grow bags, the more collapsible.
I love grow
stuff that
bags.
they work.
Oh, grow, yeah.
Things work okay, but is there anything special that you have tip-wise for those that would be different than a more solid pot?
No, the grow bags are great, especially if you're in an apartment or senior facility, whatever. You don't drag them. You'll wear the bottom out. That's a fact. You will wear the bottom out. Also, a lot of the manufacturers will say that they have a 3 or 5 year lifespan. Go with the 3. Go with the 3. They're not. The bottom usually is what wears out. However, the bottom wears out. That same plastic tub that you We had bought the big plant in. Sit it in there. It'll look like it's a grow bag, but it's not. Because usually the sides are what holds up. The bottom is what goes. Yeah. So grow bags are great because at the end of the season, you can dump that soil out, collapse it. Some people wash them. I'm not that gardener. I brush them out, fold them up, put them in.
When you said about the grow bag, you put the plastic pot inside the grow bag or put the grow bag inside of the plastic pot?
No, put the plastic pot inside the grow bag. It's just for aesthetics.
Okay.
Because why not?
Yes.
One year I had a bright idea that I was giving away tea gardens. I have way too much time on my hands sometimes. And so I did felting on the grow bags. Yeah, it was a Mother's Day project. Took way too much time. But as those grow bags gave out, one old lady, she still has the grow bag. She just slides it over a pot. And I'm like, okay, I know she's replaced those plants by now, but she still has that outer area. That's for aesthetics. It's pretty, it's cute. And at that time, I just put tea garden. One of them I did like peppermint because we do not put mint in the ground.
Yeah.
So some of them I did, uber personalized, but it's just a great idea to reuse, recycle, and reduce. That is a big thing with me. Okay. You can do a pot on a table. I would do it on a side table and then put some things in it that you might want to have easy access to. If you've just harvested your cherry tomatoes and you're sitting down because it's hot outside, it's great because you're not using chemicals. Take that basil leaf, wrap it around a cherry tomato, and eat it. It's refreshing, and it's easy, and it's right there. And it's at your fingertips. So I'm all about making sure that you have accessibility and even accessibility for your guests. And you can have a whole conversation. I remember there was a lady in Spotsylvania County, Virginia, Miss Maud Scott. I love Miss Maud. She had to have been 90. And yes, she did take sandwiches out the freezer. Don't do that. But Miss Maud would sit there and she would say, oh, reach back, honey, and get some mint. Why? Because she had a pot on the table that had mint in it. Reach back, honey, and get some basil. Have you put some basil on that tuna fish sandwich? It did uplift the taste. But, she was the elder, and she was inviting me into her space. And she could not move around a lot, but she could reach that basil and that mint. That's for sure. She could reach a pepper in a pot. So things like that, work with what you have. But trust me when I say the larger pot you use, you don't have to water it as much. Lettuce in a wash tub. I have lettuce in the diaper pail. I have 3 siblings, and they were going to throw the diaper pail away. I was like, don't do that. I put holes in the bottom, and I put lettuce in it every year. And when it gets too hot for the lettuce, I move it to a shady spot. Tilt it up. It works. It's good. When it rusts out, I got to find somebody else with a diaper pail. But you can use a wash tub. You can use anything that's accessible in your yard. You can take a 5-gallon bucket and cut it in half. Yeah, drainage holes in the bottom. I've done a 3-tier planter where you take the 5-gallon bucket base, cut them in half. You can plant in those and then plant in the big pot, the big full 5-gallon bucket with drainage holes. It's very eclectic, and why not? Everyone cannot go and afford pots. So if it's an eclectic container, you're good to go. Reuse, recycle, reduce. All these things you can reuse and recycle. And I want to share. This is where I have my fun. So, what can you use to recycle? My daughter, this had potato chips in it. You poke holes in the bottom. You no longer need the lid. And you can plant in this. It's only going to last you a season. But otherwise, what would you do with it? Throw it away. Reuse, recycle, reduce. That's my favorite.
Then you help break it down a little bit.
Yes. Yes, but you know, I've gotten 2 years out of this before it totally rusted out. Same thing with a coffee can. Same thing with a trash can. This was a trash can from a dollar store. And once again, you could actually put holes in the bottom. Some people would say, and then you use landscape fabric. No, you don't. Use some burlap.
Harder to find burlap.
Harder to find burlap. This was at a thrift shop.
You can get it in the
Scrap exchange.
It's true though, it's harder to get, like,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
all the natural fibers are getting harder and harder.
Oh, but it's going to
And they're
break
getting
down
more-
this season.
They're getting more expensive.
Oh, thank God they haven't figured that out back home yet.
You gotta find your source, right?
Yeah, find your source. But you can also use, go to dollar store and get the placemats.
Yeah.
So that's used for the inside lighting?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, it'll drape out. But also, there's a lot of conversation about microplastics. It's on you. We're all still here. But you can also take the bag that you use your potting soil and you can turn it so that the writing is on the inside. Line it with that. Yeah, yes.
I had heard a while back that you can use like animal feed bags,
You can use what?
animal feed
Oh, yeah.
bags.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, like, that's food bags.
Yeah. Dog food bags work. I'll tell you what else works. How many people have a collection of these? I know, most women in the room. I know, me too. I took 2 large Marshall bags to work. They disappeared. I took 2 more, they disappeared, and I looked and I still got 4 more. It's like, for growing potatoes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, seed potatoes. Why? Because you can take seed potatoes, you start them with a little bit of soil on top. So you just roll the top down. Make sure you take the liner out. Usually there's a harder bottom inside. A little soil, put your seed potato in there. As the foliage grows up, you want to add the soil. And trust me, when the bag gets full, you're done. You know, I have these around my, we have Vigo beds in my community garden. I have tons of these for all the stores I've shopped at. I try to turn the label inside though. But yeah, they line it so that at the end of the season last year, everyone took home a bag of potatoes. Because at the end of the season, you just dump it.
That's cute.
Why not? I don't throw a lot away, but I'm not a hoarder. But I'm not.
That's why you have one from every store.
You know, because I do carry, in Maryland, they suggested you carry them in your car, but you have to remember to take them in the store from your car. Yeah, so, but they have some collapsible ones I can fit in my purse, but some of these other ones, you know, but how cute would this be? You have the girls over for tea. This is a very shishi frou-frou shop in DC. How cute would that be with some basil growing out of it?
Oh, so pretty.
You know, why not? And then TJ Maxx and Marshalls always has these really cute containers that they're cute because you just know what you're going to do with them. Not. What you can do is take, if you want to drill a hole in the bottom, you can.
So that
Yeah.
was the question I was gonna ask about. Are you drilling or just using?
I've got
hammer and nail?
tools. I have tools.
Okay.
But you can use a hammer. That's how it started. Hammer and nails is like, wait a minute. I can get a drill bit with a battery operated drill. No cords. Yeah. Everything is battery operated now for ease of use. But if you didn't want to drill a hole in this, once again, those pots you're going to throw out anyway, use cute ones. You can tilt pots in here. And of course, you're going to say, oh, but then you see the pots. Not if you tuck moss around it. All about the pretty. It's all about the pretty. And then I know you're going to laugh about this. This was another reusable bag. This one, I could cut up and line that trash can with, or just plant in it. Okay. But then I had this idea before a pandemic. I used to go to Paris a lot, and I wore a pair of boots out from all my tracks. I still wear shoes out, but why throw them away? Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, this was the last Paris trip. So I will take a grocery store bag and line it just so to make sure that the soil stays in. And I'm going to put mint in here because I don't want mint in the ground. And it'll be a cute little thing on the end of my terrace, because why not? Why do I not want mint in the ground? Because, oh, mint will take over your yard. It'll take over your house if you let it. Mint is a no. Yeah, mint in a container with no holes in the bottom, still lifted up high, and don't let it touch the ground, or you will have it for life.
No holes in the bottom for mint.
Mint, you do need it to drain,
Okay.
but just get it up off the ground. It will root in bricks.
Oh.
Yeah, yes.
All right, but you did that. I'm wondering, if you use center wise.
Uh-huh,
I heard about painting and then inside the little holes.
uh-huh.
You're saying that's not a good idea, it'll still.
Mint will find the earth. And when mint finds the earth, you are doomed. Unless you just love mint like that. Like, I just want a mint lawn, because it will take over your lawn. It will take over your life. Mint is serious. Yeah. It's great to have all varieties. All right. I mean, now, think of this. Anything with a square stem, plant with caution in a container. Now, Monarda, bee balm, in a pot. But just know at some point you're going to give that pot to something in that pot to your friends, because it's going to let you know when it's time, because all the other stuff you had in the pot is not going to be in there.
What about lemon balm?
Lemon balm, okay. There are virtues to lemon balm. Number one, you're never going to get rid of it. It's easy to pull up, but lemon balm is one of those plants that is good for your nervous system. It's an awesome tea. You can cut it and put it in the freezer for the wintertime. Great for cough syrups and things like that. But if you let it go to flower, she's going to have it, she's going to have it, they're going to have it, their neighbors are going to have it, and they're probably not going to like you too much. So it's got a square stem. But it is easier to control versus some of the other mints. Peppermint, spearmint, don't. Mojito mint, oh, definitely not. I had mojito mint live in a bucket for 3 years. No drainage. I just knew after year 1 it was going to die. Year 2 was like, it's going to thin out. It was overflowing the bucket. It was like, okay, time to share. Yeah. So you know when it's time to share. But just mint, plant with a feeling of caution. So, and I guess last but not least is this, I do a lot of catering, but I've planted these up so many seasons with different things. Sweet potatoes was last year. It was easy. Yeah.
You put holes in that? Yeah. You put that?
I gotta do that.
In the bottom,
Wait, what's on the bottom?
holes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You need the drainage, otherwise they'll rot. Yeah.
And you sit it where, like on a slate patio?
Sunny spot.
Yeah.
I had these in the community garden.
Yeah.
The kids came in and they painted them, because we got, we're not advertising, so let's paint it. One year we actually put fabric on it.
Nice.
They just kind of like staple the fabric on it and make it cute. Just, make things fun. Use your use your imagination. It's your garden, and it shouldn't be like another job.
How are you able to get the sweet potato slips? I hear people talk about you need a slip, but I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Well, back home we have an ace, but right now in my kitchen, I have sweet potatoes I ordered from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange, and they're growing up. So now I will take them off of the actual sweet potato and put them in soil. they'll root because I'm not going to plant them outside till the end of May. Yeah. All those annuals people bought when it was warm the first week in April, they're rebuying them now. Yeah.
You grow your slips from any sweet potato?
I have.
So if
However, sometimes in the store they treat them. From what I've heard, I only use reputable resources. So I order mine from reputable resources. But I understand you can go to some of the international markets and you might can get them there.
So even if a sweet potato sprouts, that slip may not grow potato.
It may not, yeah. And I will tell you, one of my fellow plot partners in my community garden, she just knew. She bought this potato and it had all these sprouts. She got not one potato. Not a one. It was pretty though. We ate the leaves. You can steam the leaves. The leaves are good. You can stuff the leaves. They're so good.
The deer likes the leaves too.
Oh, the deer do. So do groundhogs.
What are slips? I don't understand what slips are for like this.
It'll be like a stem. Yeah. Yeah.
So not like an eye, like on a regular, like a russet
No,
potato.
no, not like an eye. A slip. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you recommend organic?
I'm organic.
Okay.
I don't use any chemicals
So how
ever.
do you try to get it? You know, so if you got like an organic sweet potato, you just put it in the ground?
No, I order from an organic resource.
And so then when you get that, you just, you put it in soil and
No,
watch it?
no, I have mine in jars. Now, some people say you can do the soil. I don't.
Okay.
I have mine in old canning jars that I didn't want to throw away. And I stuck coffee stirs.
Okay.
I broke coffee stirs in half, stick them in the side so it sits up like you would do avocado seed. So the tip of it is in the water. The roots will come out first. And all of a sudden, you notice you have all this top growth. Yeah, it's really cool.
Type of water that you would use?
From the spigot. Yeah, I do. You know, it's.
This might be in a different discussion, but if you don't get that source from organic source, whatever you're worried that's in it, doesn't that grow out of it after a while?
I'm not sure because when I started my garden journey, my girls were little.
Yeah.
And I was living in Fredericksburg. I knew that the farmer's market was only seasonal, but I wanted to make sure that I could give them good stuff that was affordable. So if I could grow it, I did. So I really have not done that before, but if you just use what I call mother sense, we are all still here. How many people's parents were like, let's go down to the organic store and get food? Right. So, I mean, in my opinion, it's like a current conversation on microplastics. What were we drinking during pandemic? So, and our fathers and our fathers' fathers and mothers' mothers, they were all here and they ate from the earth. So, and then 10-10-10 came along and other fertilizers, they still ate from the earth, gave birth to all of us, we're still here. So I think we just have to use our common sense on some things.
Well, that's what I mean. I just assume that if it's not an organic source, let's say you sourced it, like let's say I bought some scallions and I just threw them in the ground, which I usually do. I would assume that if it wasn't organic, whatever I'm concerned about grows out of
Exactly.
it. Right?
Right.
Okay.
Like the ginger I just got.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a international store.
Yeah.
It did not say organic on the
Right.
sign, but I do know that ginger from the grocery store did not sprout ever, like 6 months ever.
Yeah.
But the ones from the international store did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I noticed that too.
yeah. It's like some bread. If you sit your bread on the counter and it doesn't mold, don't make your bread. Okay. I'm going off topic, y'all. It's okay. Rethink your bucket culture. When I tell you stacked buckets work, they really, really do. There's a tire shop in downtown Silver Spring. I mean, these guys are mechanics. And they built a frame. And they had these buckets lined up. When I tell you it was the prettiest sight I ever saw, they had tomatoes, they had peppers, they had lettuce. They had everything in 5-gallon buckets. You used to get 5-gallon buckets for free. Sometimes you still can if you go to coffee shops. If you go to sandwich shops, back home we have Firehook, Firehouse. Yeah, they. Yes, make sure they're food grade.
Yes.
Don't go to the paint store. No.
Get them from like bakeries, like Food Lions Bakery and also Walmart's Bakery. They're glad to get rid of
Yeah.
like those icing buckets. And that is
Yeah,
great.
because all they're gonna do is throw them away. So
They'd rather go to a,
yeah, reuse, recycle, reduce. Same thing with coffee grounds, coffee shops.
yes.
Yeah, best way to amend your soil. So rethink your bucket culture. Get them free if you can. If you need the pink ones from Lowe's, they're $5. And you can make them hydroponic. Should you choose to do so? Yes.
Previous slide, where you had a bucket and there was wood blocked, and then on top of the, why is it stacked like that?
So that they can drain properly and you're gardening in less space. Imagine if all those were on the ground.
I got you, okay.
Yeah. So you're just making better use of your space.
There's holes in it, and the bottom probably has holes.
The guys at the fire station, you can't tell in this picture, but they actually had a hose that wove through the bottom of those buckets. I'm sorry, it was really intricate the way that they did it. But, they have all day, number one. But they basically watered one bucket. Another scenario that I've seen like that, they've set up the solar. You can get them on Amazon. There's like a solar panel, collects energy from the sun. Set it by timer, and it will irrigate the buckets. Yeah, that does work. That worked in my Vigo bed. I did not haul water at all last summer.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're under $30. Yes.
They didn't do that because they needed deeper soil for whatever they were growing.
Well, you need deep soil pretty much for anything that you're growing, except for
I was
mints.
thinking double.
Oh, double the height. Their purpose for that was in less space. In less space, and you knew it would draining from the top to the second tier to the bottom tier. Yeah. Yep. So think of systems. Pay attention to young people, because sometimes young people, like these pots hanging, those are tomatoes. The picture to the right. Yeah, make sure your brackets are sturdy. Yeah.
So they're growing them upside down, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think back to years ago, I bought a clay pot that you put geraniums in, you let them sit for a couple of weeks, and then you can hang the pot upside down. Yes, the geranium stood. That was a costly pot. These are 5-gallon buckets. Yeah. Yeah, go figure. And once again, you can make them pretty. We think a lot of times that roses are just for scent. Did you know you can eat roses? Yeah, this one is one of my favorite. Proven Winners has this one. This planted with the Spicy Glow basil and a mozzarella ball. Nice. Yeah, it's very, very refreshing. Yeah, it's like a little sweetness, and then your Spicy Glow basil, and then the cheese. It's a really good mix there.
What is it, when you have that, when it said the underplant, so you're saying you put the rose in the ground, and what does the underplant mean? Tell me, when you put the basil underneath?
Yeah.
I mean, underneath.
You can do it in a pot. Doesn't have to be in the ground.
Okay.
Yeah. Put your Spicy Glow basil. I would do the plant versus the seed, but make sure you pinch it.
Okay.
Just keep it pinched, because Spicy Glow generally will get about 5-6 inches. There are larger ones now, but the lower ones, pinch it and eat it. Don't let it go to waste. Same thing with any of the dwarf tomatoes. If anyone has ever grown yellow pear tomato in your vegetable garden, they have dwarf varieties now. So good, so delicious. And put that once again with the basil. Just keep mozzarella balls or goat cheese around in the summertime. That's your charcuterie. That's your nice little easy quick dinner, because you've been in the garden all day and you're tired and you're not turning on the stove or going to get fast food. Right there in the container. And it makes it easy. Do you have a question? Okay. All righty. Lemon thyme, that's another one. Put it under the skin of chicken or fish on the grill. So good. I was very disappointed I could not find the heliotrope, the purple on the left. The nickname for it in Fredericksburg was Grandma's apple pie. It smells like grape jam. It is just, I have it every single year. I don't even care. That's one thing. I don't care how much I pay for it. I'm going to have heliotrope. And it only gets to like 12, 18 tall. And if you underplant it with bacopa, which is just basically a nice hanging over plant, it is the best thing. So nice. You can also do lemon thyme. I did that in a pot one year, but the bacopa makes it very girly to me. I wish I could have found it though. That would have been really great for you all to smell. They're fragrant begonias. Begonias, they come, it's like a corm, a tuber kind of thingy. It's flat. It'll have an indentation. You want that indentation to be up, else it will rot. You can also kind of tilt it to the side so the water doesn't sit in it. But this is another one of those things, while you're waiting for spring, put your begonia in a pot. It's going to just be like a bulb or whatever. You're not going to see it, but put it in the pot and put it in a semi-bright area. It will start to sprout. You can add whatever around it, but if you put that on the table, you can sit outside and entertain your guests, and that sweet fragrance, particularly of Angelique, that sweet fragrance just comes out of nowhere. That Condra Falls, I'm a fan, let it drape over. It's just a nice, pretty, feminine container. I just love it. You can also use Creeping Jenny, but Creeping Jenny is another one. In a pot. Don't let it touch the ground, else you will have it for life. I don't want any, thank you. Yeah, it's crazy. And one year, my Dichondra Silver Falls, 1 year, I had it in a pot on my terrace in the back on bricks, and it came back in the bricks, which was like, So I just plucked it up and put it in pots. Yes.
She was talking about she had some creeping Jenny. She said that's been like spreading yet. And I said the key word is yet.
Yet is the operative word, that's for sure.
Put it there on purpose.
Okay, good. Check with her in 5 years, y'all. Okay. Okay. Final reminders, know your zone. And we're not just talking about the zone that we're growing in. I understand this is 8B. 8A. Okay. Kavana was saying she was a B. So that's a great example right there. My house faces south. On the left side of my house, it is definitely a 7A/B. But I have camellias there, which everyone told me I could not take my camellias from Fredericksburg to Maryland. They're there and they're blooming. The back of the house is a 7A, period, hard stop. The right side of my house is an 8. Figure that one out. And I'm in Maryland. So know your growing zone in general, but then test out some things. Try some things in different parts of your yard. When I bought my house, I moved from Fredericksburg to Maryland. I had 13 camellias in pots in the moving van. And all of them are still there. And I've added to that. But it makes a nice alley on the sides of the house. And if you position them where you can see them from a window, there's nothing better in February when everything else is just green or brown and you got a red camellia or a white camellia blooming. To me, it's the greatest thing.
They're not still in pots, are they?
Oh, no, they're not in pots. They're in the ground. Yeah. They were in pots in Fredericksburg, though. I had them around my terrace in Fredericksburg because I wanted privacy. But when I moved to Maryland, I put them in the ground because I figured if I'm going to lose them, I'm going to rightfully lose them. So I put them in the ground. They're doing fine. They did burn a little bit from we had snowcrete this year for the first time. I've been in my house for 23 years. First time they burned, but they still bloomed. So I'll cut them back by a third when I get home and let new growth flush out. They'll be fine. Yep. Make sure your pots have drainage holes. Make sure that your plants are in compatible company. In other words, when we go to the pots, I'll show you all. There's one plant up there. You can put everything else in the pot, but there's one plant I would not put in the pot because it's going to rot, no matter what you do. Because that would belong in a solitary pot because it's going to get big, number one, and it will require a different type of soil, number two. Creativity matters. You can see my little prop bucket. I mean, just find things around your house you're no longer using. Grandma's sifter that has rust on it, so you know you shouldn't be using it. Plant in it. Plant in it and then prop it up in a pot and plant something in that pot. Maybe something you're going to add to bread because you're going to sift the flour for the bread. Something you're going to put in there, an herb, because why not? Some thyme. Why not? Just be creative with it. I get very creative, and my daughters still love me. I don't know why, but make sure that the conditions are right. So you're not going to put basil in the shade garden. You can actually put basil in a part sun garden, but it really wants to be in a full sun garden. Geraniums, at least where I am, it might be different here, but my geraniums, they have bloomed all summer in partial shade. And if you look at the tag, it always says full sun, 6 to 8 hours of sun. Keep it in mind, I do not water my garden. And when I do, I use recycled water. 5-gallon bucket in the shower. No one's going to know. Save that water. It's going down the drain. Save that water. When you're steaming vegetables, save that water. Don't dump it down the sink. Save it. There's something outside that needs to be watered. Let the water cool. Take your pot, water, keep it moving. But my hoses, I did a presentation in 2021. I ordered all these roses. I had to take them down to Lynchburg. I was like, okay, I ought to water these before I go. My hose had dry rotted because I don't use it. So everyone doesn't do that. I'm a big believer that if you pay attention to your soil. If you have good soil, your plants will take care of themselves. If you mulch, any rain that comes from the heavens or that you have to add additionally, it keeps that moisture in. But most importantly, it is all about the soil. Your soil really does matter. Composting matters. Put your composted, whatever you're composting, as long as it's not weed seeds in it, mix it in with your potting soil. In the ground, if you have a big shrub or whatever, those collapsible pots, if you look closely at my front, you would never know that behind everything planted in the front of my garden, I have one of those collapsible bins. Because when I'm pruning, deadheading or whatever, like my daffodils, I just deadheaded. I put them in there. You can't see them. I'm not going to have 99 big brown bags on my driveway for them to pick up. I'm going to reuse because that's from the earth. It's going to break down. Put your green clippings, any weeds that have seeds on them, cut those off. Those I would get rid of. But the stems and all, put them in one of those collapsible bags behind something so you can't see it. So you're not lugging stuff through your garden. And then put a handful of soil on top. Water, done. It'll break down. That's like compost to go right where you need it. End of the season, you can dump that, spread it out. You just amended your soil. Yes.
And do you do that with tomato pruning too, or do you throw out your tomato pruning?
I don't throw out my tomato trimmings. I have one of my plot partners in the community garden. She actually takes because we'll pinch the tomatoes out, she actually makes a bug spray. When you think about out of tomato clippings, when you prune your tomatoes back, pinch them out, she has come up with a way to use those and garlic. She makes a bug spray and it works. Now, I don't know her proportions, but she said her grandmother taught her how to do that. Every young person in here, I just want to tell you something right now. This is the best advice anyone will ever give you on any day of the week. Sit at the feet of the elders. Please sit at the feet of the elders. We are missing so many important things by not paying attention to our elders. And these are secrets we will never, they're not in a book. This is all their own wit that they have experienced, that they've dealt with through life. Friends of mine, we're on a mission to find out what happened to the Negro Garden Clubs. Well, so many people have thrown away grandma's papers. They've not felt it necessary to sit with grandma. They don't know, like my dad would, so bizarre. He grew up down in Snow Hill initially before moving to DC. He would flip out the window. His aunt was the teacher at the one-room schoolhouse. He'd flip out the window to go and ride with his grandpa to water the garden, not with a hose. Grandpa had a big metal bucket on the back of a flatbed, and he would dump. My dad would sit on the back and dump. That's how he watered. So who needs a hose? I mean, really? You got buckets, you got pots, you're steaming vegetables. Use that water to water your plants. If you baby your plants when you first put them in a container, if you got to baby them, you probably chose the wrong container or the wrong plant. But also, if you baby them, the roots are going to stay right at the surface once again. You want those roots to go down. Yes.
I have well water
Mm-hmm.
and a water softener. Is it okay to use? Sometimes it's just, I do have, so for one of the spigots outside, the water's not softened.
Mm-hmm.
But I do sometimes just fill up a watering can or, a watering can of reusable milk jug.
Uh-huh.
Is it okay to put softened water?
That's for your extension office. I don't know, because I'm not on a well.
Okay,
I've never been on a well.
yeah.
I can only tell you that when I gardened on my mother-in-law's land, she did have a softener in her well, and I watered.
I haven't noticed a difference yet, but it does make me a little nervous.
Well, there's a gentleman, Mr. Chalk the botanist.
So it is actually good to do. I'm a plant biologist, and when you have carbon water, you have a buildup of calcium, I believe bicarbonate, which is what makes the water hard, meaning that it's harder to change the pH of the water. But softening it removes it, which makes it easier to use in your everyday life in the house. So it's not negative for your plants either way.
Thank you so much.
Which that's good to know, because back home, some areas will have hard water, other areas will not. And I've never heard the conversation about softeners or whether it's good or not. So there you go.
Unless you're growing industrially.
Oh, wow. Yeah, anyone industrially growing on? Okay. Okay. And then make time to sit in your garden. You can get a fisherman's seat that sits on top of a 5-gallon bucket, and you can garden with it. You can put your tools inside the bucket. The seat is padded. When we renovated our community garden, I gave everyone that joined that year a 5-gallon bucket and a fisherman's seat. They work. That way you can't say, well, there was no bench. Oh, my back is killing me. You're carrying your bench and your tools in one. Plain and simple. It's called a fisherman's seat. And it has a cutout. It's like a circle like the top of a 5-gallon bucket would have, but it's a cutout. So you can actually, you can reach in and get your tools. If your back hurts, you can put your long handled loppers in that cutout and use it as a backrest.
Nice.
I'm in the garden way too much, as you can tell, but it works. It works. It does. It works. This is my trach. I tell everyone, get a trach. This is one less tool. You got your spade and you have your cultivator in one. You can put this in a 5-gallon bucket with a fisherman's seat, easy to grab. It's the best thing. Yep. You can also tape together 2 tools, but you don't want to do that. These are cute. They come in so many different colors, It's called a trach. Yeah. I gave my dad a green handled one. Now, I've had this one. This is honest to goodness truth. I've had this one for 20 years. There's no damage. I am not sure how in the world my dad, the one I got him, this is flat. I don't know what he did, But I still have it. I have not. He's deceased, so I have no clue. But it's like, how did he do that? And mine is way older than his.
That's why.
Yeah, maybe. But it's like, okay. But definitely do that. And and I'll repeat this when we pop these up. Please get some garden gloves. You might have a very tiny cut or blister or, hangnail. You don't want to get that infected. Please garden with gloves. These are washable. You can get washable ones. These have held up a very long time for me. So just get gloves. Please wear gloves. There's so many different things out there now we don't want. And with that, I think we'll take a break before we do the pots. Are there any other questions?
No, I do want to make a comment about wearing the gardening gloves. I'm in medicine, and please do wear your gloves, but also make sure you're up to date on your Tdap.
Yes.
You can get tetanus
Yes.
from the soil. It's all fun and games.
So you get caught.
So
Yeah.
make sure you get it. You're supposed to get it every 10 years. If you're an avid gardener, you're supposed to get it every 5.
Yeah.
So go ahead, check that out. Please.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, am I facing right this time? Okay. I speak so many different places. Sometimes it's hard to figure out where am I looking. So, gloves. Get gloves. I love these. These are called high garden gloves. They used to be called fox gloves. They're washable. I have these in my car. I have these at work. I do floral arranging as well. So I keep these at work because you never know where those flowers came from or if there's a thorn. I love these because these are a little bit thicker. They have some at the dollar store, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. And I love finding things at the dollar store, but they do not hold up a season, at least for me. So some things you want to spend money on. Good ergonomically correct tools.
Can you repeat the name of the gloves again?
These are High Garden, H-I Garden. I think their website is Get High Garden, but High Garden works. And they have grippers. Some of them don't have grippers. Some of them are longer. Like if you're pruning roses or you're pruning shrubs, you want to get something that's going to cover your arms. And they have, some people will buy the separate things to cover your arms. That's a lot. I get hot. I can't, that's too much. These in a longer length work just fine. They even have like a gauntlet and the hands are padded. They have leather. So if you're dealing with thorns, you're covered. So the main thing is you got to cover your hands. Don't do anything without covering your hands, except grounding. Where's my grounder there? Grounding. You can, yeah. I ground myself every morning, but I'm not digging in soil. So when I'm grounding myself, I put my bare hands and my bare feet on the ground and just pause for a minute. It's the best way to start the day. Best way to start the garden, especially if you're like, I got to do that and I got to do that, and I got to prune that. Stop. Center yourself first in your garden. It works. Okay? So I am an overplanter in my containers because I probably actually buy mulch maybe every 3 years. Not saying I don't mulch my ground or my pots, but I can use what's in my garden just to sprinkle because I know that whatever I plant in a pot, it's going to increase and it's going to mulch itself basically. So this one is kind of like a sensory container. These are going to be outside in front of the garden, in front of the library. So these are keepers here. They are looking for people to help maintain the native gardens out front as well as these containers. None of these containers are going to require an excessive amount of water except for maybe the last one because it's annuals. I'm a perennialist and a native plant person because a lot of times that last pot would never make it in my garden because I'm busy. So a sensory pot, which is fun, whether you have little kids, whether you have friends over a lot, this is the greatest thing. Why? You'll be able to feel this. You can hear it if it's a slight breeze outside. it will put up plumes. It's only going to get about 2.5 feet tall. So you could put this, depending on where you're going to put the pot, these will be against the building, correct?
Maybe on the parking lot side.
Okay, the parking lot side. And the building would be like here, so the pot would be here, right? So with this one, normally, of course, your thriller would be in the middle. We can put this to the back of this pot, okay? And please don't do this. I mean, I know some of us have anger issues, but don't do that. Be gentle with your plants. Best thing, do that and tilt, okay?
Love on it.
Yeah, put a little love on it. Huh? This is a purple fountain grass. Yeah. And then just tickle the roots. You don't have to bang it. I was training these kids one day, and this guy was like, it's hard to get out of the pot. And I noticed he was like stomping on the pot and everything. It's like, oh my goodness. It's like, no. Let's treat it like you want to be its friend. You know, tickle the roots once you've gotten it out of the container. Okay, and once again, this one we're going to put at the back. We're going to end up topping this container off with soil because it's a little low. You want to leave at least an inch and a half at the top so that the water can drain down. But if perchance, because you're going to have to put another drainage hole in these pots, by the way, the water will sit. You know when you don't have enough drainage holes in your pots? When you come out and there's water sitting on top. Either someone forgot to take the plug out, not enough drainage holes, but you got to fix that problem. So that's why I love these. My ceramic containers all have a drainage hole. But sometimes these pots, they'll have a plug, one plug, add some holes. Do yourself a favor. Yes?
I was going to ask, is it like a ratio for plant size to the number of holes needed, or is it just 5 feet?
I'm not being funny. I am a gardener. Some people would say, oh, you should only put 5 plants in this pot. I'm getting to that. Same with the holes. The plant that I was going to say can go in the ground outside is this lavender. Because everything I'm putting in this pot will need to drain, and it will need a nice, good potting mix. Lavender likes it just plain good old soil, raised up, not a lot of water, blaze on sun. Everything else I'm putting in this pot will take a little bit of shade, but it will also take full sun. So you want to know who your plant partners are. What kind of company are they keeping? To add lavender in this pot, knowing that it will drain, yeah, but right now there's one drainage hole. It will rot before it drains. So you got to know who your plant's playing with in the garden. So this by fall will have its blooms up. It'll be pretty. It will also fill out the back of this container, which will be a nice backdrop against the wall. But in the meantime, it's just sitting. It's pretty, but it's just sitting. So the kids can feel the grass, or the person can feel the grass. But now we can add this pineapple sage and they can have some tea. Ever put basil in your tea? Try it. Not just lemon basil, any kind of basil. And pineapple sage leaves. And lemon balm leaves. And why not put some chamomile in here? So we're kind of making a teapot. But at the same time, everything in here, a child or a person, one of the people in my book, Black Flora, she does a lot of horticultural therapy. So she will have people that might be blind or might be senile, and she'll have them touch a leaf. Well, they can touch this lemon balm and smell the lemon. They can touch this lemon verbena and smell the lemon. They can touch this lamb's ear and it'll be fuzzy. could take this, it'll drape over the front of this container. The nasturtium, once again, eat the leaf, eat the bloom. It'll drape over the side of the container. So I pack my containers. Why? Because I know the nasturtiums are not going to last all summer. It's too hot. They like it kind of sort of on the cool side of things. But for now, it's edible. So why not use it? What will take its place? The lemon thyme. Over the summer, it'll take its place. So you still have that draping over. The lamb's ear is another one. I'll put a piece of this in here, but once again, it can go with the lavender. So if you have a trifecta of pots, you could do this pot and do another pot with the lavender and the lamb's ear, because they don't want overhead watering. They like very much good drainage and full-on sun. Know who your plants are playing with. The same thing with the yarrow. It does not like overhead watering. So why are we leaving room at the top? Because at the top of this container, you can take your watering can, your milk jug or whatever, and just water the soil. And a lot of people who ask the question, well, but it rains from above. That's a whole different beast. You want to water the soil. The plant roots are what needs the water. This is another container that's not going to take a whole bunch of fertilizer either. If you do use fertilizer, who has a goldfish?
Who has an old what?
Goldfish. Okay, she's got the best fertilizer in the world, and you can look at it. It's cute. In my Fredericksburg garden, I had a pond, and I went to Walmart and got 10-cent goldfish for my daughters. One of them's name was Fred. Fred overwintered for 5 years.
Go ahead, Fred.
Yeah. Yeah, go figure. You know, I don't have a pond in this house, so I left Fred, and I don't know what the new homeowners did with Fred. Yeah, I know. My girls made me feel guilty about that for years, but I left Fred. Sorry. Let's hope Fred is not, you know. So this container, anyone, as the season changes, anyone should be able to go up to this container. Once again, we're going to be gentle. We'll show us some love. If the roots are coming out the bottom, you can literally tear those off. It will slide out. Tickle those roots. And all of these are dry, so when this gets transported outside, it will need to be watered. And I would suggest, because I don't know what the temp or the rain, we thought it was going to rain last night. It didn't. But if I were watering this at home, I would make sure that I saw water coming out of the bottom.
From the time that you started watering it, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you want to make sure the soil is saturated. Especially
with fresh water, when you talk about, so
I watered the plants with it.
His old water, you would change, so you would dump out his old water into the plants and then give fresh water.
Well, if you have a goldfish in a bowl, like if he was in a pond, so I would just take my milk jug, take water from the pond, and I water my containers. Okay. If you have a goldfish in the house, you should change that water out. Use that water to water your house plants or your outdoor plants. Yes. That's fish fertilizer that you buy in the store.
Do you ever bottom water, like if you had a bigger plate underneath that and just let
it come up? Mid to late season, I will try to do that, but I just find it best. Another thing you can do with a milk jug, quart size works best for this size pot. Put some holes in the bottom of a quart size milk jug. Fill up the milk jug with water and set it in there.
Or sometimes we use those Oyas that have
where it comes down. I have the Olas in my community garden plot, but I have not tried it in a pot, only because I overplant. And I'm going to end up breaking it. So, yeah. But I would try it. I would definitely try it. Yes.
I'm just curious, are you going to put any, do you just set those flat on the ground, or are you going to put like little feet or bricks under each pot?
Are you going to put bricks under these? I would suggest putting bricks under these. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't suggest any plant or any plant in a container sit directly on any surface. It really should have some air and drain. And if it's sitting even flat on bricks, like on my terrace, everything is up.
Well,
Yeah.
if it has a dish underneath it, let's say it has a dish underneath it, still put a little feet underneath there to create air.
Any of my, I don't have any in my Maryland garden in a dish, but I suggest in a dish, put pebbles. You really want it to drain. You want no pot to have any excuse to not do what you wanted to do because of lack of drainage. So in a saucer, a couple of, pebbles, some rocks, some flat rock, just to get it up a little bit, yeah.
Even if I have large plastic pots in my backyard, and I put drilled holes at the bottom on the sides of the pot to make sure it would drain. You still suggest I put it up?
I personally do not have any pots flat on anything. That's a personal choice. If your plants are doing fine from drainage holes in the side.
I planted a peony last year, and it actually started growing from the root. So it's doing okay, but I'll still put it up on bricks.
Just to be safe, yes.
Do you know, how do you tell when you need to water a pot? Do you use a hydrometer or anything?
My index finger. On your
Without the glove.
well, these are washable, so it doesn't matter to me. But your second line of your index finger, that's my gauge. If you put your finger in, second line, and it's still moist, you're good. If it's getting dry, you want to water it. And then once again, figure out what you're doing. All of these plants are moderate, in my world, moderate to light watering. So maybe once a week if I'm in town. But otherwise, visually, and if it's on the side of a house that bakes, you want to pay a little more attention to it. But if it's full sun, like my terrace gets full sun pretty much from 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes 1, but 2 o'clock in the afternoon on. But I'm at work, so anything in pots in my yard, I have ornamental grasses in pots. I have a rose in a pot, but I have an edible. Am I doing an edible this year? I don't think I have any more pot space for an edible because I have my Vigo beds out there. But even my Vigo beds, I have the drip irrigation from the sun. So I'm not doing a lot of watering. I really, not being funny, because I work full time, I teach, I lecture, I write books. I don't have a lot of time, but I need my garden. My garden is my sanity checker. I'm going to make sure I don't have to run around and water everything every day or once a week or even. Yes.
What size pot is that?
This one was a 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was a 20. 19 and some inches. A 20, yeah. Yeah. I just don't, in my opinion, don't go below an 18-inch pot. 12-inch, if you must. But 18 is a good gauge. You're going to get more in there, less watering, less maintenance, less space. You can put it on casters if you think you're going to move it around. Depending on, like I'm having a tea for my sister. I know 2 of her friends have walkers. The planters I've done, I have to roll them so they're on coasters. Only this year. Otherwise, they'd be on the bricks in one spot. Anybody else?
I do have a quick question. So if you had a rock garden and you put a container in that garden and the rock is there, it's going to give the porous ground, but do you still need to put them up a little bit so the air can flow?
I'm a big believer in airflow, but try it and see. Try it and see. I don't have a rock garden. I'm a heavy planter, you know, so the ground is covered and shaded by the plant material. A rock garden, you have to remember, that's blaze on sun, a lot of heat. So, yeah, think about it. And think about what you're planting there as well. Think about what you're planting there. So does anybody want to come up and help do this? I'll let you wear my gloves. And you get to feel, this is like, you can take what we used to call church gloves, those white ones that, you know, after a while they turn a little yellow. Why not use them in the garden? Reuse, recycle, reduce. You know, I wore all of mine out. So you're gonna squeeze that pot gently.
Okay.
Let's do this one.
one?
Uh-huh. Squeeze it gently and then tickle the roots. And then while you're doing that, we're definitely gonna have to add soil to this one. There you go. And tickle the roots. And just because we want to know what we put in that pot, put the tag to the side so that we know. And then you can keep going with that one.
right.
So this one, this was my mom's favorite plant, Verbena bonariensis.
Oh, yes.
It really, yes. Huh?
I was telling them they can see it on the TV.
Oh, okay. Oh, where you're planting. Oh, you might want to come on this side. They told me to come on this side. So this one, this will bloom for you off and on all summer. And if it gets too, this is Verbena bonariensis.
Does it have a common name? I guess maybe that's.
If you go to the garden, I use botanical names because that way you know what you're getting. You can call it drumstick verbena. Yes, you can. Yeah, that's why it's, you know, this takes me back a little bit. Consider using a garden journal. In my other book, The Urban Garden, 101 Ways to Grow Food and Beauty in the City, one chapter talks about using a garden journal. And we, you know, our memory's perfect, right? Until you really want to find that plant. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what was the name? What did I do with that tag? Well, yes, we can use our phones. I only use my phone in the garden after I plant it because you should be focusing on the garden. Or if I want to capture something, like before I came, I don't know whether we got rain or not back home. My peonies just started unfurling. So I took a picture just in case because we're in a drought.
This one doesn't have a tag, you know, so I got the.
That one is pineapple sage.
Okay.
That one I do know. And even though we're planting closely, we're allowing room for the plant roots to go down. So they're not like they're not kissing cousins, but they're real close friends, okay? So this one is great in the middle. Even if this gets, because it'll get like 3, sometimes 4 feet tall, but the beauty of this is you can go right in the middle and you can pinch it out. Some would say you can root this, whatever. This can create a nice center pot arrangement, which is beautiful. There's a shorter one, but I tell everyone, even like Joe Pie, Little Joe is not little. No. Little Joe, I put Little Joe in a client yard. Little Joe is 6 feet tall. Yeah, so do your research, and learn how to pinch. Chelsea chop it. Anyone know what that is? No. In July, any of your plants that are languishing, your mums, what's another good one? Sometimes your dahlias. Just go in, find a joint where the 2 leaves are joining and pinch. Pinch it out, pinch it down. Let's see, we can pinch this one down a little bit more. And this will bush out in the pot. So you just want to, you can use your pruners if you must, but you pinch it out. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to encourage growth from the bottom. Well, I just got rid of all of Little Joe because Little Joe was not acting right. And it wasn't worth it to me. So a lot of your newer cultivars, which goes back to some old people, seasoned people, some of your newer cultivars have not been thoroughly tried, tested, and true. Maybe they work in a cooler zone, they're better behaved. But then when it comes to a hotter zone, they might go, oh, this is nice. We're going to just triple in size. So know your plant. And some of the newer plants, let them sit for a year.
And that's a good thing to know about this one is it's absolutely beautiful, but in this area it can become invasive quite easily.
Really?
Yeah, in the southeast. So it's just worth keeping an eye
Do
on
your
all
research.
surroundings and
Yeah.
because it's a beautiful plant. But
Yeah. I didn't know that. I try not to use invasives, which is another point.
it's like a southeast thing.
A southeast.
Yeah, in California.
Pay attention to your USDA invasive species list, please. Because I noticed down here, I saw a juga.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We
I,
can make a good plant bad.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, ooh.
Purple one that's all over the trees?
No, that's
No,
No. Yeah, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, yeah. And someone showed up at a garden club meeting. It's like, I've got 5 bags of ajuga. It was like, oh my.
Just share.
Yeah, she was sharing. It was like, but I had to be graceful. Do you all have a problem with guara? No. Okay, so because I'm real anal about, it's okay. It's okay, because somebody might want a whole area of it. Somebody might want a whole bed of it. You know, it is not invasive in the DC area. However, I do have it showing up in spots in my garden. I didn't plant it, but I love the plant, and it's not mint. So, you're welcome. So we're going to add a little bit more soils, and I'm going to raise those a little bit as well.
Okay.
But so this is your edible. This is your sensory container. All these plants play well with each other. You can smell the lemony scent. So after we bump it up and all, at the end of the program, you all can smell this. This is going to be great. You can eat these leaves. You can put them, use them in your cooking, make teas. So this is a great container to have on the edge of a patio. While you're waiting to pick up somebody from the library, if they're not using chemicals here, you could, with permission, I bet, pinch a leaf. And chew on it, because why not? Yes.
Are these containers filled to the top, or are you using things in the bottom to only have
Speak up a little bit.
Are the containers filled to the top with dirt, or are there other things underneath of it that you?
She wants to know, is it all just only soil in here?
It's just soil. It's just soil. Yeah.
And what did you say this one was called?
Pineapple sage.
Pineapple sage. Okay,
Mm-hmm. That actually came back for me one winter, one time, but then it didn't. But you can take these leaves and you can put them in ice cube trays, freeze them. You can dry them. Put them on a coat hanger with some twine. Put it in the back of the basement and let it dry, or let them dry into a paper bag, and use them for teas. Crumble them up. Put them in an airtight container. So all these jars I'm rooting the sweet potatoes in now will have dried herbs in them by end of summer. So reuse, recycle, reduce. So this one is guara, whirling butterflies. We're going to use this as our central point, and I'll let you all decide what this one. I have some. Guara, I'll tell you about this one. This is a major favorite of mine. 2-3 years ago, we had a really hot summer in DC, and we're inching towards it again. And my dog Precious and we are out early in the morning. My garden was on the edge of being so crispy, but I kept seeing this white and flash of pink. We'd be walking, we're walking at 5:30 in the morning to beat the heat. And I kept seeing it. Sometimes I would forget about it. One day it was like intention, aim for the color. It was guara. No water at all. Blooming its head off. Full blaze on sun. And whirling butterflies, that whole garden bed, it was just filled with activity, filled with life. That's what you want to do. Consider some of your native plants for season-long color. Another one will be this yarrow. Another one. And you can divide these, share with friends. Great for containers. I keep a pot of yarrow because I have a lot of master gardeners that will come by my house, and I'm more than happy to share with them. I don't have to dig in the soil. I can go in my pot, separate a little bit, and share. This is the native one. There's a lot of cultivars or nativars, whatever you want to call them. I can tell you this yarrow was in a little crack on a stairway.
So you're not gonna kill me.
No, in Martha's Vineyard. Nobody was taking care of it. They were just walking over it, trampling, and this yarrow, and there was a lot of people there that day. This yarrow, certain steps, you could see it was just coming up and blooming. That's the kind of plant you want.
Yeah, that's what I.
You know, and it gives back. Rutabaga hirta is one. So this is going to take us from summer into fall.
You said that one was called what?
Rutabaga hirta.
Okay, thank you.
I love hirta. Hirta does well in pots. Hirta also walks. So, you know, she might show up in different places in your garden. It's okay because she's attracting wonderful things into your garden. She's adding life into your garden. Okay. So we're at fall. Hirta, that yellow and black. And then we have an aster because asters and fall just kind of go together. Okay. And you can have Ignatia peeking out from the back. You can also have sedum peeking out from the back. This one is Matrona. I encourage people to try to find the natives or nativar, but any sedum, I like Ciboldiani. I love it because it can drape, comes back every year reliably. It's pink.
You said it's called what?
This one is Matrona.
But no, you said the one that you like.
Oh, Ciboldiani.
Okay, thank you.
Seiboldii, I believe it is.
And what kind of sun for this?
Full.
And superheat.
Superheat. Yep. I have used all these in containers at home. The only one that I'm having an issue with right now is Ignatia. And I think it's because I'm using some of the newer ones. Because I couldn't find the one that I love. The one that I love, Polita. It is a true native. It's about this tall. And soft pink weeping on the bloom. Not for a pot, definitely for in the ground. But the newer cultivars, because they're bright, they're pretty, it's supposed to be perennial, but eh.
And where, if we were to go to one garden center where we could find most of these, what brand would it be? It wouldn't be Home Depot, would it?
No.
I am a small garden center person, so small garden centers. Support your mom and pop garden centers. Yeah. Look to your friends. Go to farmers markets. Yes.
Yeah, I have a lot of these. Are these, would deer draw to these kind of plants?
My yarrow is never touched by deer. Deer have an issue with things with texture and scent. A total discovery. Maybe 5 years ago, I found out the deer were not bothering my lavender.
Okay.
Right.
That's what I'm looking for because I want a lot of color and stuff in my yard, but every time I put something out, soon as it blooms, it's like I'm having a party and that's the shakura.
You know what? So go to your garden. This is the best, I think is one of the best tips. Go to your garden center and gather some plants that you just love. Take a picture of the tag. Go home and do your research. Stop feeding the deer. Because once they find, I know this, I had a deer give birth in my backyard. That one area of my yard, I cannot plant. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because the deer just come back to that one area every single year. So I just can't plant there.
So where did you get these from?
We were all over town.
Oh, okay. Here,
Yeah.
In North
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, ma'am. There's a lot of
Yeah.
native garden.
Yeah.
stores in Durham and stuff.
Yeah. And just support your independent garden centers. The big ones, they got their following. And you can find your generics there, but support your small centers.
Just a question. Are you
Yes.
aware of the, like, I just became aware of like the pass-along plant
Hmm.
sort of network. Is there,
Down here, I don't know.
but in your area, you do know?
Well,
Or what is?
She's the heart of it up there.
I have two stances on this. I believe in pass along plants. My cousin Bessie has a plant that's been in our family for over 100 years. I have a white iris at the edge of my driveway that's been in my family for about 100 years. Okay. And then there's that other side where up in the DC area, we have the jumping worm.
Ooh, yeah, tough.
And I don't know about down here, but they're saying don't do it.
Yeah.
They're saying even if you rinse the roots or whatever.
Honestly, they say don't share plants because of jumping worm, but we've had jumping worm in this area for at least 75 to 80 years. So, like, there should be a scale. But like we've asked our state entomologist about it, and his assessment was like,
So you can go with plan A or B and you're not going to be wrong. Yeah, yeah. And that's why a lot of, information and knowledge is great. It's power. But common sense is too.
But you always have to question the other side.
You do. You do. Don't go too deep, but yeah. Jumping worm, yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, if someone's going to give you a plant, if your best friend is going to give you a plant, are you really going to say no? It's like, did you check for jumping worms? I don't think so. You know.
Some beautiful plants out there that are not available, and it's because of
Right.
they're only,
Right. And then, a lot of your smaller growers, farmers markets, native plant specialists, they have these plants that have been here forever. And unless they're being totally devastated by the larger critters, deer or whatever, if they're still here, despite jumping worms, despite Japanese beetles, think about those things and consider it. Like I said, I'm a perennialist, so once I plant my pots, with an exception of dividing them, I'm done. And taking care of them the first year. I keep a milk jug behind them. I collect rainwater. I'm one of those. But as far as like out there every week on a ritual, keeping a calendar, that is not me. I can't do that. I didn't watch my dad do that. So, we're going to plant this one up. Anyone want to come help do this one?
Sorry, no, I have to leave.
Okay. All righty.
So enjoy it. Thank you.
Bet. Oh, we've got a volunteer. Here you go. There you go. Have fun planting. Use the trach if you need to. This one is going to be our full sun annual container. I want this one to be happy. I want it to be colorful. I want it to be joyful. I want it to attract some beneficial insects, some butterflies and bees. So with this one, has anyone grown straw flower before? It's so cool. So cool. So these are going to be my thrillers because they're going to last. I don't know about you all down here, but back home, sometimes Cosmos will take me through a season. Other times it won't. Once again, I'm not out there watering a lot, but if it's somewhere where it's accessible and you want to water it, throw some Cosmos in. Throw some zinnias in. Usually the Cosmos will last when the zinnias will not. But we're humid. You can pinch. Or you can look for a shorter cultivar. But I'm a pincher. I'll pinch anything back. If I wanted to stay in the container, just pinch it. You could also use dill. The benefit of dill is, for the pollinators, let it go to seed. And then use it. Make some pickles. Give them out at Christmas. Put it on a salad. Do some dilly bread. Put it in cornbread. With a lot of butter. And honey butter is really good. Once again, color. And it might seem like this is a lot of plants. You don't have to use the whole 6-pack. You can use 3, odd numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7. Odd numbers of plants. That way, you're going to have an impactful, colorful arrangement that really speaks to you. Add a perennial in. Annual pots are great for that season, unless they're going to self-seed. At some point, they're going to stop blooming. Have something that's going to take you through a season. I got Ignatia here, and I got a little bit of yarrow here. So if you fill this pot up, even with these zinnias, you were saying gets too tall, even with these, I would pinch these back. I personally would not let these bloom until maybe June. So if you pinch, I pinch back.
Is pinching deadheading? Because I'm trying to figure what is deadheading.
Deadheading is when the bloom is finished.
Okay, and then where would you pull it off? I mean, where would you deadhead it?
When the bloom is finished. So these, I would not be deadheading this. I would be pinching this.
Okay.
I don't have my pruners with me, but
But so deadhead, you're just pulling just off the spent bloom, nothing else?
go down to the next set of leaves.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for instance, like just say the one that you're holding, just say if this was, so you would come down here, underneath here to get it?
Above. If you see where I pinched off, it's above.
Okay.
So it's going to cause it to branch out
Okay.
and get fat. That's your girth. So you want to. That's right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And it might root. It may not. Might root. Depends. Depends on what you're growing. But whenever you're planting and you have something that's already in bloom, I personally pinch them off, cut them off. Why? Because you want the energy to go to the roots. It's going to bloom again. But you want the energy right now in this pot. It's like new digs. You move into a house. You're not going to move into a house and all of a sudden just like, I think I'm just going to buy all this furniture and put all these paintings up. You want to get a feel for the house. The plants have to do the same thing. Yeah. These, take your index finger and just pinch it down. Yeah, just loosen them up.
Okay.
Now, some people will score the bottom. That's another way of doing it. Just don't go too deep. Because once you mess up that crown, you're done. So you can score the bottom. But the main thing is, like, don't just, like, rip it. Do not take out your anger.
Don't be like that guy.
Yeah. But there's some women that will, I've seen some women that are, like, really getting their revenge out. Just don't, be gentle. Be gentle with it. Yeah, and it might look like it's tight. We're going to raise some of these up before they go outside, but it might look like it's tight. But you know what? That container will fill out, and these containers you see in the store now for like $90. We're not putting that in. That's invasive. Yeah. Yeah. And please pay attention to your invasive plants. Please, please, please. Because it might be like, oh, but I just need to have it. You really don't. Think of a substitute. And online, usually, they will offer you a substitute. And then at the same time, because I'm one of those people, talk to your extension agent and ask them for guidance. Ask a master gardener. That's what we're here for.
The milkweed is better for the monarch butterfly, the butterfly bush. That's,
Yeah, not the butterfly bush is invasive where we are. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they say to do the swampy milkweed or milkweed instead of that because when you have that butterfly bush, it just confuses all the pollinators because they just
Right.
feed it.
And with the milkweed, be careful because it can take over your garden. So, too much of anything good. With the butterfly bush, I put those in compost and come up with seedlings the next year. So I do not compost those. I don't compost the bloom. I don't compost the stem. None of it goes in trash. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of this, some garden magazines, some good quality garden magazines will offer you hints and tips, but for real information, your tax dollars are paying for the use of the extension office, and her salary. And on that same note, master gardeners, we all have to give out hours in. What better way than popping by the library, asking if do they need water, does anything out front need to be weeded? Are we collecting seed this year? Because we collect seed in ours. Do the irises need to be divided? It's that time. Are we going to mulch the paths? Master gardeners, to me, taking care of the back there would be an easy way to get your hours in. Because it's always going to look pretty. And people will say, oh, the master gardeners take care of that. So I'm vice president of programming for Capitol Hill Garden Club. We meet in a library on Capitol Hill. It services the entire community. Well, there's a hillside in front of that library that's really awful. Thank you so much. It's really awful. They don't even know what was planted there. So my thought process is get the master gardeners in. I will lead them like I need one more thing to do. But that hill is where everyone comes. People, new gardeners, old gardeners, seasoned gardeners. People have dropped off plants there. We noticed the other day someone planted something there. It was like, okay, that was bold. But we can easily remove it. But at the same time, what better place to put your skill set to use? And while you're out there, if someone has a question, you can answer it. You can offer advice. So you can tell them, you don't want to do this. You're going to regret it. Or you can tell them, yeah, we have lavender. And this lavender that we have, we're not putting it in our pots because our pots have a different watering requirement. But in this dry sun, when I pulled up, it was sun back there. You could tell the soil was dry. This is the perfect plant for that spot. So maybe move something over or add something and put in a plant. You're educating people when you do things like this. As homeowners, believe it or not, we're educating our neighborhoods. If people say, like right now, all the rage back home is a cut flower garden. So I'm teaching a class on that. Everyone has a bare spot in their yard. Everyone has a bare pot. If you don't want to go to the grocery store and buy your cut flowers, put some seeds in a pot. Done. And it's your choice of what you put in there. Whether it's something for your health, whether it's something edible like the nasturtium, put on your salads, whatever it is. You can have a cut flower and a vase of flowers after the fact, and you've done yourself some good. So urging everyone, volunteer to help keep these pots looking pretty. Carter's going to send me some pictures of them being totally alive this fall. With the master gardeners beside them going, yes, we took care of these. Or anyone that wants to volunteer and learn more about plants. And you can collect the seeds. Any questions? All right, yes.
I don't have a question, but I just want to say you are a marvelous person.
Oh.
And you are a marvelous speaker.
Oh, thank you.
You say, and then I'm the vice president. It's like, oh my God.
Because I want to educate my community, everyone from the tiny tots to the elders. I too want to, as an elder, want to sit at the knee of the elders to see. I remember my dad, I forget what pest I was trying to combat, and he was like, yeah, what you just need to do is go get some nicotine. It was like, oh, not really. I did not do that. But it was something that his, ancestors had taught him. So you find out these things through conversation and through time spent. No, it was something he wanted to mix it. I think it was mix it with water and spray it on stuff. But it was like, I'm not doing that. If nicotine is not good for humans, no, it's going to kill probably more than what it was intended for. But you listen and you learn these things and you take note of them. And you go, nah, I mean, how many times, 10-10-10 was the bomb back in the day. I don't use 10-10-10. I compost. Everything that I put in my garden comes from my garden.
So what would you recommend if you're trying to add nitrogen? Would you try to do like
I recommend you talk to your extension agent because I use my compost. My compost provides all my needs.
You thought about like red clover and just, do that as like a cover crop when you're,
It depends on the application. Is it lawn? Is it a field? Is it a flower bed? What is the application?
Raised bed, So like when you're not growing like in that season, just plant them there, and then when it's time, like you want to do spring, you just dig it down in there, mix it up with some more compost, and then you plant what you
could do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Your recommendation?
That's a recommended practice, and it's what I do personally.
I love it.
Yeah. For like raised beds, it works perfectly for that. The important thing is just to keep the roots in the soil when you kill the plant, because they break down and release the nitrogen.
Right. See, that's what a master gardener do for you. But it's different everywhere. So, yeah. And even now, I mean, my plot partners in my community garden, they were having a fit last year because I was like, we're just going to cut the tops off of stuff, leave the roots. And they were like, we can't leave the roots. These are some of the elders. We can't leave the roots. And I'm like, okay, let's just think about this. Back in the day, did our ancestors go around and pull up all the roots in the garden? Okay, leaving that right there. And it took me saying that in a loving way to let them understand it's going to break down, it's going to add to the soil. It's okay. It's okay. Yes.
Now, can I grow like vegetables, like say squash, zucchini, and all that in pots like this in the garden too?
I have grown zucchini in a pot like this. I've grown market more cucumbers in a pot like this. Read what type of spacing it's going to need and make sure it has depth for the roots to go down. So the small pots, no. Pot this size, make sure that your seed packet or the packet, if you go to a garden center, it'll have the little tag like this. And it should have the recommendations on that tag. And if not, once again, take a picture, call your extension office. Really, that's what we're supposed to be doing, educating the public.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
What are those pots made of?
These, I believe these are plastic. Yeah. Yeah. And also, some online resources have a marketplace that people are forever getting rid of stuff. You can check it out. However, if you buy a pot, please scrub it down. Scrub it down before you use it. Don't just use it. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.